Are you all there? Only 29 students out of 65. Hello? So today we are going to take lesson on grammar, punctuation. So it's an important part of English, that punctuation, wherever they are necessary, if they are not put in the right place, they can play havoc on your language. That is yes, I'll share you the slides. Yeah, punctuation can be defined as the marks, any mark on in your sentences, like full stop, comma, bracket, or which are used in writing to separate sentences and their elements, to clarify the meaning, to clear the meaning, to separate that sentence. If you give a full stop, it means we are going to do that in detail now. So these are just, you remember, you might have done some exercises, punctuate the following in your school, in your English language. So we are going to learn about what are they, how many are there, and what is their importance in writing skills. Okay, so sentences and their elements, they play important role in giving intended meaning to the language. Whatever we are, our intention is, where, how we want it to be intended, like how I want my sentences to be understood by my reader, can be done in by the help of punctuation, by separating their elements and sentences in the language. Like a wrong punctuation mark can, their placement in a wrong place can be a disaster sometimes. It can convert the sentence in come to a complete nonsense if they are not put properly, taken care of properly. They will play a havoc in your language. And in all of the, we are going to talk about the 12 punctuation marks altogether, and in that, comma is considered as a real villain among the marks of punctuation. uh, in the family of 12 members family of punctuation, uh, comma is considered as a real villain, because a wrong placement of a comma can give different meaning to sentences, depending on let us eat daddy. Wrong placement of the comma yes, anyone answer me please. A man without her man, a woman, sorry, a woman without her man is nothing. One meaning can be where you have placed the comma. After a woman, if you place the comma, it is meaning something else. Without her man, comma, is nothing. A woman, comma, without her man, comma, is nothing. Here, the the importance is given more to the man rather than to a woman. It's a saying that without her man, a woman is nothing. And this statement, this without any commas, without any punctuation mark, was given to a group of English students learning English. Some were feminist and some were chauvinist. So they were asked to punctuate this sentence. So one group put a comma on the after a woman, and another put hyphen, without her man is nothing. So here more importance is given to women. Can you understand that? Yes. So it can change the complete meaning. In the first sentence, daddy is being called for dinner. However, in the second sentence, daddy himself has become an item to be eaten. So omission of comma in this case has converted the first sentence to complete nonsense. The full stop, comma, mark, bullet points. These are the parentheses. Ellipsis, slash also we have, semicolon, colon. So full stops are used to mark the end of a sentence, that is a complete statement. So we all know that just a dot. All their meanings, all their meals arrived at the same time. Full stop. To mark the end of a group of words that do not form a conventional sentence to emphasize a statement. Here also you can see here also you can see there is the full full sentence is not complete, but here they have put a full stop after arrived late. That word acceptable to arrive late, that is to mark the end of a group of words that is there, that do not form a conventional sentence. To emphasize a statement, we are adding some more words to it. Not under any circumstances. Here emphasis is given on not any under any circumstances. So how important it is to be on time is uh, it is emphasized here in this sentence, which with is placed at the end of the sentence. We have the full stop. So it is never acceptable to arrive late, not under any circumstances. And this is used in for some abbreviations also, like after Jan, after AM, PM, okay, or between any acronyms. We studied this in acronyms and abbreviations. Okay, please return the form by Monday, 8th December at the latest. This example can be like this. Abbreviations like at the latest, the shop has gross. You can see the placement of the full stop over here. The and also for the websites, www.oxforddictionaries.com. The full stop is used here also, where it is used mainly to emphasize on the sentence and for abbreviations and also for email addresses and websites. Full stops are used. Then we use the comma. A comma marks a slight break between two sentences. of different parts of a sentence. There are four common occasions on which commas are necessary. Follow up the links for more information. Using commas in list. Example, the flag was red, white, and blue. The flag is green, orange, white. Comma is in direct speech. That's not fair, she said. And comma to separate clauses. As we had already arrived, we were reluctant to wait. As we had already arrived, here, there you can see the comma. You are giving a pause in that, and you are following, continuing the sentence to uh, convey the feeling. After that, we were reluctant to wait. Then also after that, you can see the full stop. Using commas to mark off parts of a sentence. Her best friend Eliza sang for a living. Okay, so these are, yeah, using commas to mark off parts of a sentence. Her best friend Eliza sang for a living. You see the comma over here. Then we have the semicolon. It's semicolon is most commonly used to mark a break that is stronger than a comma but not as final as a full stop. It's used between two main clauses that balance each other and are too closely linked to be made into separate sentences. You see the colon or the semicolon, how it is. The film was a critical success. Its lead actor were particularly praised. So these are the some of the different fonts of semicolon that we use in between. How do we use? We they are commonly used to mark a break that is stronger than a comma but not as final as a full stop. It is in between. That is why comma is also used, and full stop is also used between the two main clauses that balance each other and are too closely linked to be made into separate sentences. Okay, then we have the colon. You have two dots over. There are three main clauses uses of the colon between two main clauses in cases where the second clause explains or follows from the first. That is, we have a motto. What is the motto? Live life to the full. This is going to specify. It is used in between the main clauses in case where the second clause explains or follows from the first plan. Here the example is, we have a motto. What is our motto? It is explaining the motto, like live life to the full. Okay, then to introduce a list also. The cost of room included the following: breakfast. Before a quotation also it can be used, and sometimes before direct speech also this colon can be used. The headline read, local woman saves geese. So it is also used as a before a quotation and sometimes before a direct speech also. To introduce a list, to the cost of a room included the following: breakfast, dinner, and Wi-Fi. Before a quotation and sometimes before direct speech also. The headline read, local woman saves geese. And then we have apostrophe. There are two main cases where apostrophes are used. Then using apostrophes to show possessions. Like Malcolm's cat was extremely friendly. Malcolm's cat was extremely friendly. Yeah, somebody, if I am not visible, please call and let me know, because the content is there. Okay. So there are two main occasions on which a dash can be used, usually in informal writing, to mark off information that is not essential to an understanding of the rest of the sentence. Here you can see many birds dash. Do you like birds? Dash can be seen outside the window. uh, Two main occasions on which usually in informal writing you can use to show other kinds of break in a sentence where a comma, semicolon, or colon would be traditionally used. Here dashes can be used. Like Tommy can't wait for Christmas dash, she is very excited. So you can
Ma'am, screen share, ma'am.
screen share is
Using
not there.
screen share, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sometimes it's going to be could you see the whole of this lecture? Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you see the whole of the
Ma'am, your voice isn't clear, ma'am.
or it was discontinued? Then we have the bracket. Hmm? Yeah. Mainly used to separate off information that isn't essential to the meaning of the rest of the sentence. He asked Sarah, his great aunt, for a loan. So this is actually giving an additional information, which is separate information, that which is not also sometimes essential for the meaning, that will not signify or give meaning to the sentence, but they are placed over there. Here the example you can see, he asked Sarah, who is that Sarah? His great aunt, for a loan. So brackets are uh, also used in the sentence. These square brackets are mainly used to enclose words added by someone other than the original writer or speaker. This can be typically in order to clarify the situation. The witness said, Gary Thompson was not usually late for work. It is again giving some additional meaning, which is actually not essential. These are square brackets. Can you see here? Can you see the square brackets? Yes, square brackets are mainly used to enclose words added by someone other than the original writer or speaker. Inverted commas. Inverted commas are mainly used in the to mark the beginning and end of the direct speech. You are saying this. Whoever is saying it directly, inverted comma. There wasn't, he said, any need for you to say that. You can see the inverted commas over there. There wasn't any need for you to say that, he said. to mark off a word or a phrase that's being discussed or that's being directly quoted from somewhere else. Example is a word or a phrase that is being discussed or that's being directly quoted from somewhere else. You can see there, this is called the land of milk and honey, also known as scare quotes, to draw attention to an unusual, ironic, or arguably inaccurate use. The food she put on our plates was edible. Here it is signifying, giving more stress, more importance to say, like the subject here in the sentence is that it's the food. So to signify that also, commas are used. Inverted exclamation marks are used. The main uses of exclamation marks are response or immediate shock or immediate direct speech that represents something shouted or spoken very loudly. Run as fast as you can, he shouted. These are exclamation marks there, which you are surprised. Oh, really? Like that. After that, you put that to in informal writing, but most of the sentence that expresses a sudden feeling, something that amuses the writer. They thought I was dressed as a smuggler. An exclamation mark can also be used in brackets after a statement to show that the writer finds it funny or ironic. Example is, he thought it would be amusing to throw a plastic mouse at me. Exclamation mark. That is throwing some kind of an amusement or sudden disgust, sudden shock also. This also can be used in that. Then we have the question mark. It is used to indicate the end of a question. What time are you going to the fair? Question mark. A question mark can also be used in brackets to show that the writer is unconvinced by a statement. The bus timetable purports to be accurate. It's a question. If it is a question in, if the person is not convinced, then we have a question mark in the bracket. Okay, then we have the bullet points. Bullet points are used to draw the attention to important information within a document so that a reader can identify the key issues and facts quickly, for creating coherences and creating coherence in your writing. We will study this in detail in your writing, the last segment of your communication skill topic. So we'll give a quick, um, I mean, quick recapitulation. What are the types of punctuations? There are 12 of them. Full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, apostrophe, hyphen, dashes, brackets, inverted commas, exclamation mark, question mark, and then we have the bullet points. I'll ask now. I'll ask each one, I'll tell the number, and that person should answer what it is. Okay. If you are not doing that, you will not get attendance. Okay. Full stops are used to mark the end of a sentence, that is a complete statement. All their meals arrived at the same time. You see the dot at the end, you know what it is. It's a full stop that marks. But you need to explain. You might get a question like that. Explain in detail the marks of punctuation in a language, or marks of punctuation. You will get a question like this, and it is going to be a 7-mark question. You have to write all the marks of punctuation. You must be able to explain. You know it as a symbol, but you don't know how to explain it. So that you may must be learning. Here, when they are asked, you might just give a dot as to what is full stop. You know it is a dot, but how to explain you must know. To mark the end of a group of words. You should be able to say this: to mark the end of a group of words that doesn't form a conventional sentence, so as to emphasize a statement. Then give an example. It's never acceptable to arrive late. The second one, not under any circumstances. So after the group of words, which is a conventional sentence, you have to put a dot. But to emphasize on this, if you are adding some more words to it, not under any circumstances, again you are putting a full stop. And also these full stops are used for abbreviations for websites and email addresses. uh, for abbreviations, you can also say that, like in December, as the example is given. If you give the same example, no hassles. Or if you want to give new examples or your own examples also, it is okay with us, as long as it is correct. So you have to be using it in abbreviations. We use full stops in abbreviations, and also in websites, and also in email addresses. Where are we using? At the end of a sentence. Then at the end of a conventional sentence, but also on when we are emphasizing on it. And the third one that we are doing is on in abbreviations. We are using in acronyms, abbreviations, and also in websites and emails. We have to remember this. You might also get a small question for 2 marks or 3 marks, wherein they say, uh, uh, when explain or name the 12, or may name all punctuations. So in 1 or 2 marks, you can just name them and uh, give 1 or 2 lines explanation. But if it is a 7-mark answer, you have to give all the possible uh, ways in which you are using those punctuation, along with the examples. You need to write a complete answer to get all full 7 marks for it. If you are having all the information that is required in that answer, you will probably get 7 out of 7 in that. If it is handwriting is good, and there are no uh, what do you say, spelling mistakes, if there are no other mistakes in that, you we can always give you marks in that. And then uh, we have the comma. Comma marks a slight break between two different parts of a sentence. Yeah, we know what the symbol is, but we need to explain it, like I told you just before. For full stop, comma marks a slight break between different parts of a sentence. There can be any number of them in a sentence. There are 4 common occasions on which commas are necessary. Follow the links for more information. We have here we have given one link there. Common commas in list, that is when we are separating red, blue, black, when we are giving different fruits, mango, banana, oranges, and things like that. So before the last option that we are given, we use an and after that we don't use the comma. But when we want to separate the options, then we give a comma also there. Using commas in direct speech, that's not fair. You see, after the fair you have a comma, and then she said. That's not fair, she said. And we have to commas to separate clauses also. As we had already arrived, I gave you these examples before, so I want to continue with that. So arrived, they already arrived is, after that we see a comma. We were reluctant to wait. Now the sentence is complete, so we have put a full stop. And here you can even see the brackets. When we learned about brackets, that is also said that uh, they do they are extra information that is put under the square brackets or the round brackets. Okay, using commas to mark off parts of a sentence. Her best friend, comma, Eliza, comma, sang for a living. Then we have semicolon, most commonly used to mark a break that is stronger than a comma, but not as a final, as not final as a full stop. It is used between two main clauses that balance each other and are commonly closely linked to be made into separate sentences. A film was a critical success. You have a semicolon here. Here, in itself, its lead actors were particularly praised. They are being balanced and they are closely linked to be made separate sentences. Then we have the colon. Again, I tell you the colon, three main uses of the colon. Between two main clauses in cases where the second clause explains or follows from the first one. Example is, we have a motto. Why are we using this? Using in three main uses of the clauses, that we are between two clauses. When the second clause explains or follows from the first one, then we have the colon over here. We have a motto, live life to the fullest. And second one is to introduce a list to others. The cost of the room included the following. Now, after the colon, we have breakfast, dinner, and Wi-Fi. For Wi-Fi, you can even see over here, hyphen. And it is also used, colon is also used before a quotation and sometimes before direct speech also. The headline read, you can see over here, local women saves geese. Here, inverted commas also you can see in the I'm trying to show you the other forms of punctuation also in sentences. Then we have the apostrophe. Apostrophes are two main cases where apostrophes are can be used to show possession belonging to Malcolm's, okay, Prasad's cat, uh, Wilson's car was extremely, Wilson's cat was extremely friendly. We took a day trip to the Gibson's house belonging to, using apostrophes to show omission also. Like isn't, didn't, contractions we call, no, even in contractions we use apostrophes. Don't, do not, in the form, in the place of do not, when we put apostrophe t, don't, it become didn't. We didn't think about the consequences of our actions. Then we have the hyphen. Hyphens are used to link words and parts of the words. There are three main cases where you should use them: in compound words, to join prefixes to other words, and to show word breaks. Where all we'll use it? In compound words, to join prefixes and to show word breaks. Hyphen is used. Then we have the dashes to mark off information that is not essential to an understanding of the rest of the sentence. Many birds can be seen outside the window was a sufficient answer. But if you want more information, which is actually not essential for the completion of the sentence, but if it is given or if it is a question is asked in between those dashes, it will give you I mean, more information, or it might open some more options if dashes are given in between. If you want to say something that is not essential, but you want to say it, do you like birds? It's a question, and it is also not a part of the sentence. To show other kinds of break in a sentence where a comma, semicolon, or colon would be traditionally used. Tommy can't wait for Christmas. He's very excited. Yes, students, are you all there? How many are there? You've come for 57. Yes, give your attendance. D1, pen paper. D2,
Yes, madam.
D3,
Present, ma'am.
D4, D5,
Present, ma'am.
D6, D7,
Present, ma'am.
D6, D7, D8.
Present,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
B7 present,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
D4
B7.
present.
Okay, okay. D4 is absent. D6, D8. Yeah, D7 I saw.
D8 present, ma'am.
D9.
Present, ma'am.
Yes, I see you. E0,
Present, ma'am.
E2,
Ma'am, D4.
E0, E1,
Present, ma'am.
E2,